Welcome to this White House celebration of poetry. There's no place that I'd rather be than in a room full of young poets. You can feel the energy. There are 77 young poets here today from all around the country, coast to coast and in between. And to the pleasure of that company, we add the opportunity to hear from a group of esteemed working poets who approach the art form from many different angles. I can tell you we're in for a treat. And it's a special honor to be part of the day when the President's Committee for the Arts and Humanities is issuing its inaugural report on the condition of arts education across the United States. As a poet and an educator, I cannot stop exulting about what it means to have a president who understands the importance of the arts in education. The arts show us what we do not know in forms and languages that take us by surprise. Art reaches us where we do not expect, transports us to other worlds, lets us pause in wonder, challenges us to rethink our certainties. Art troubles the water. Art feeds the senses and the soul. And if you imagine a single day without art, without music, without careful language, without beauty, you will understand how, to quote and paraphrase William Carlos Williams, people die every day for lack of what is found there. The integrated study of art for young people invites them to solve problems creatively using more of their big brain power. Art takes discipline, practice, and devotion. Art asks that we think and then rethink. The core practices of art making and art appreciation are transferable to achieving excellence in other interests and types of work our young people pursue. Today, poetry will be showcased among all of the arts, and I'm here to tell you what you're about to see, that American poetry today is vital and varied, alive and kicking, flourishing in different forms and tones and communities. American poetry is where the brilliance of American English, with all of its influences, many from other languages, and all of its inventive life force is best found. Poetry tries to say more and more in language that is ever more precise. And in great poems, we find our individual and collective expansiveness. Walt Whitman, do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. With the sacred word, we reach across the void to say, this is who I am and this is what I offer you. Poetry, to use an old vernacular expression, is the church of what's happening now. I think poets are the ones who best get at a sense of our rich, complex, multifaceted Americanness as it's reflected through language. In his great poem, American Journal, the poet Robert Hayden speaks in the persona of an imaginary space traveler observing this country. He sees what he calls a baffling multi-people and writes that despite the clash and clamor of all of those voices, quote, I am attracted nonetheless, their variousness, their ingenuity, their élan vital, and that something, essence, quiddity, I cannot penetrate or name. Robert Hayden. So today we celebrate the arts, and before we hear from our poets, we will first hear from Melody Barnes, who is the President's Domestic Policy Advisor and Director of the Domestic Policy Council, which coordinates the domestic policy making process in the White House. Please welcome Melody Barnes.